everyone. Okay, so because it's convenient, I'm going to stream this now, rather than make a proper video about it. You know, proper in the sense that I'm editing something. And what I would like to... Oh, 1 second. Oh dear, poor old streams all over the place. Anyway, I've noticed in the other video that I don't think it did very much, but I could be wrong. Anyway, so I just wanted to stream this now, and it is a look at the official strategy guide for Riven, which was published in 1997. And this is the guide that I have been using to do the new playthrough of Riven. So obviously progress has been good, obviously a lot slower, because I think I kind of rushed through a walkthrough that I didn't really understand, and it turned out that I kind of got to like halfway through the game and done zero exploring. Which, depending on what you want to achieve, may or may not be a good thing. So, what I thought we would do is have a quick look at it. And I have cropped the video, or rather the... you know, I'll remember to speak English in a minute. The stream, so that we can have a look and you won't get any surplus material. Okay, Riven, the sequel to Mist, the official strategy guide by Rick Barber, published in 1997. Table of contents. Right, hang on. Let's have a quick look at the table of contents. So, you've got the first part, and the first part of the book is a look at the Mist diary, or journal, if you like. And there is a lot of story. And then part 2 is the walkthrough. So this is quite cool. I'll read this. Forward. It was the end of the summer of 1991. Soldiers were leaving the Persian Gulf, the Soviet Union was taking its last gasp, and we had just received the funding for something that we would call Mist. We had it all planned out. The name had been chosen, the story was going to be something about an island. The artwork would be hand-painted, the characters would be hand-animated, there would be no dying, there would be no save game function, and the player would be the protagonist, having to rely on his or her own intuition to work their way through the story. Pretty good, huh? A few months into the project, we realised that we had no idea what we were doing. Design, graphics, animations, character development, scripting, editing, sound effects, music, interactivity, it was all a mystery to us. And this is how the creation of Mist became a 2-year experiment. 90% of our time was spent figuring out how to do things, and the other 10% was spent doing them. So by the end of it, we were actually incredibly surprised to encounter such success. Our experiment turned into a so-called hit, and we started thinking, hey, we actually know what we're doing. Let's make the sequel. It will be easy. It wasn't. Riven ended up being a mammoth undertaking, taking a team of over 20 people almost 4 years to produce. It has been the most grueling yet the most thrilling creative experience of our lives. And now as we wrap things up, we once again begin to believe that we know what we're doing. Strange. Yet at the same time, it becomes apparent that we are only scratching the surface of this still very undefined medium. And the three names, you've got Rand Miller, who plays Atris in the game. Robin Miller, who is his brother, who produced, I think, most of the music for the game. And Richard van der Wende, who is responsible for a lot of the conceptual art, in particular the kind of iconic game cover with the kind of wasp's nest tree. And I think a lot of the fantastic animations are really down to his doing. So this, as it says, is a Cyan endorsed strategy guide. This is the official thing, and then how to use it. So there is a simple two-part format. Even if you've never consulted a strategy guide before, you'll find this book extremely easy to use. Part 1, Riven Journal, continues the Mist Journal, so popular in the Mist, the official strategy guide. The same intrepid everyman continues his sojourn across the ages, helping Atris and battling bewilderment every step of the way. As in the Mist Guide, his approach is observational, suggesting general strategies that guide you gently towards the answers. Read the Riven Journal for hints if you don't necessarily want puzzle solutions right away. Part 2. Riven Quick Guide provides detailed maps and a no-nonsense step-by-step solution path through Riven. Of course, Riven, like Mist, is not strictly linear in structure, so keep in mind that the Riven Quick Guide offers but one of many ways to complete the game. I admit it, when I first saw the beta version of Mist in 1993 and started writing the official strategy guide, I didn't see the Mist phenomenon coming. Nobody did. 4 million units later, Mist continues to confound critics and industry sages. And now comes Riven, one of the most highly anticipated sequels to an entertainment product since Return of the Jedi. What's the Mist secret? Occasionally I meet people who hate Mist. They puzzle at its monumental success. Many of these doubters I notice toil in the computer gaming industry. Hardcore gamers, software execs. Hardcore gamers, that's an interesting phrase coming from 1997. I mean, that's more of a kind of modern phrase, isn't it? It gets thrown around. Software execs, media types, they just don't get the Mist thing. It really irks them that 2/3 of Mist buyers are non-gamers. That's a very important point. This antipathy gives me a clue to the game's appeal. My theory: Mist and now Riven are just too pure. Anybody can play it. Gamers hate that. How can it be entertaining to move serenely through one of the most beautiful worlds you've ever seen? A world with an engaging story, a dark secret, and people who need your help. What a drag. Let's go calculate attack vectors and blow stuff up. Or blow up stuff. Whatever the case, Mist is the first great success story of the digital entertainment age. Newsweek calls it an instant classic. Alone in the playing field. The New York Times says its reflective, almost cool aesthetic suggests that what is possible, image, sound and narrative woven into a new form of experience. Wired agrees, declaring Mist the first interactive artifact to suggest that a new art form might very well be plausible. And now Riven writes the next chapter of that story. My Mist journal is now complete. Here begins Riven. After taking one last nostalgic tour around the uninhabited ages linked to Mist, I returned to Denis, misspelt Dunny in my Mist journal, to find Atris still scribbling away. He looked up with obvious relief and said, "Thank God you've returned. I need your help." Apparently zapping me home wasn't an option. I stepped forward. I remember his last words. "I am fighting a foe much greater than my sons could even imagine." He handed over his journal, warning me to keep it well hidden. He can't send me to Riven with a way out, but gave me what appears to be a linking book back to Denis. It is in fact a one-man prison, a trapped A trap. I need it to capture Gen. But who is Gen? I didn't ask. Atreus had no time to explain, but once I arrived here in Riven, I glanced at his journal. Atreus, I knew, was lured into Denis exile by his own greedy offspring. Who could be a greater foe than one's own sons? Of course, his father. Wow, Greek tragedy had better family values. The man who taught Atreus the art of linking books is an evil megalomaniac. Worse, he is a bad writer. Atreus spoke of the familiar pattern of decay that is the hallmark of my father's work. Apparently, Gen's fifth age is breaking apart. Known as Riven, that age is also where Catherine is imprisoned. From Denis, Atreus furiously debugs his father's flawed Riven code, trying to save both his wife and her dying homeworld. But his patches can only delay the inevitable catastrophe. I slipped the journal into my camera case. Atreus held out the linking book to Riven. Its gateway image was blurred, unlike the crisp images in his mist books. I snapped a photo. Then I hesitated. But the weary concern in Atreus's eyes spurred me to reach out. I placed my hand upon the page. And then you've got the Mist Diary. The Riven Diary. And that goes on for quite a while. Probably, let's say, about halfway through the book. And I think I'm trying to remember what page it is now. Sorry, I'm making funny noises. Right, okay, this is cool because it gives you the end of the game, but doesn't actually tell you what happens. There's a very cool image of the pre-rendered Riven and a map of Temple Island where the game opens. And the book does a very good job of explaining what things are, where you are, and then basically a kind of list of idiots' guides, instructions, which I do refer to if it's kind of not obvious, you know, what to do. We've done the Golden Dome now. We've just done that in the last part. Part 5. And we've done the throne room as well. It's a picture of a beetle. We've done Gen's temple. We've done the tram station. Picture of the tram. Got to this island. We are in the jungle island. Sunna are those strange creatures. We've seen the whale rock. And Village Lake, and the bug, and I was able to find a bug. And we've also visited the idol. There isn't actually a picture of the idol, I don't think. And this is the flickering machine. And we've been to the watchtower. You'll remember the kind of controls. It was a bit weird, that was. And the village. Oh, actually, we stopped at the village. Well, that was a brief look at the official strategy guide to Riven, the sequel to Mist, and I will be referring to this throughout the walkthrough. It's great to be able to play Riven, and it's great to be able to play it in its original form, if you like. I would love to play a lot of older kind of CD-ROM games from the 90s. It's been a bit hard to get older systems to run. Windows 95 is a bit of a bust at the moment, although I do actually own a disk. Windows 98, I don't own a disk. I might be able to get hold of one. They are a bit expensive on eBay, and then you have to find a code if it doesn't come with a code. The Windows 95 disk that I bought on eBay did come with a code. Oddly enough, well, it's kind of, I say oddly enough, the DVD version of Riven is not compatible with Windows 95. Although Windows 95, believe it or not, can recognise and run a DVD drive, because DVDs started being commercially available in 1997, which was obviously before Windows 98. Which is amazing to think about it. I mean, that's a lot happened in a very short space of time. We went from CD-ROMs in Windows 95 to DVDs pretty quickly, you know, in the space of a few years. Anyway, that's me rambling on about things. I'm getting red lights from YouTube, so I can only hope that I am streaming. Don't know what's up with the internet. Thank you very much for your kind attention. I hope that you enjoy the walkthrough. Please give me a like, and well, actually send me a comment. That would be better. It's always good to have a bit of feedback. I do respond well to feedback. Can implement useful changes. I've also noticed, I've been watching back part 5. It's by far the best visual recording, and the audio is fantastic as well. It's nice and clear and loud, which is what I wanted. And you can still get the Riven sounds through as well. So great stuff. Thank you very much, and I will catch you in the next video.